Rajiv Kumar, you want to respond to what you heard Pranjul just saying, that don't obsess about the growth numbers, worry about macroeconomic stability. In fact, the economic survey does refer to concerns over the rupee, remains concerned over inflation. Should that be the concern in the next 12 months?
Hi Rajiv, the way I would understand Pranjul is that don't obsess about short-term growth or immediate growth, but yes, focus your eyes very laser-like on the medium term, and that's the good news about coming out of the economic survey, because what the chief economic advisor brought out today was that there has been a substantial, a good amount of cleaning up of the banking sector. The NPAs are down. The credit growth is rising already across all the sectors, and with the cleaning up of the banking sector, there has been a whole spate of reforms over the last 7 or 8 years. And this, he said, as a result is that the rate of growth of potential output has gone up from about 6% to between 7 and 8%. Now that's the very good news, and I actually believe that, which is that we have laid the foundations, and once the capex, private capex cycle begins, which it will, as the credit growth indicates, and the global conditions become favorable. Indian economy may well be in a sweet spot, not in FY24 maybe, but then going forward from there, it can achieve higher rates of growth, and that's what we should be worried about. That's what we should be focused upon.
Are we really at a sweet spot, Arun Kumar, as someone who's been a critic in a way of this government and its handling of the economy? Do you believe that the economic survey masks the darker aspects or the more troubling aspects going ahead? Is it masking some of that by suggesting, for example, that inflation will remain relatively under control? Should we be worried? Do you see any risk factors?
Yeah, so Rajdeep, you're right, there are many risk factors, but let me sort of step back and take on from where Pranjul left. The economy in the last 3 years, if you average it out, has grown at 2.8%, which is not what the trend rate of growth expected was. As Pranjul said, we are much below where we should have been at this point of time.
No, that is 2 years of the pandemic. Professor Arun Kumar, that includes 2 years of the pandemic.
No, fair enough. Yeah. So as Pranjul rightly said, that includes the thing. We should have been at 8% above. So we are not back to where we were. We need to catch up on that, and that will take quite some time. And the problem really is that the unorganized sector is not captured in the data. So actually the real rate of growth is much less than what is being projected at the moment, because all the evidence are that demand has shifted from the unorganized sector to the organized sector in various sectors, whether it be FMCG, leather goods, textiles, etc., etc. So the rate of growth is much less than what is being projected, and inflation rate is come down, but that doesn't mean the prices have come down, and therefore the unorganized sector is getting hit by continuing inflation, and therefore their purchasing power is getting hit. So on the one hand, they're losing jobs, on the other hand, they're losing purchasing power because of inflation, and that is keeping the demand down, and that's why RBI's data suggests that capacity utilization is only at about 72%, which is what was there earlier, and that means private investment will not begin to take off unless capacity utilization rises. According to the RBI's recent survey also, the consumer confidence is still at about 85, whereas pre-pandemic it was at 104. And also some sectors in the services sector have not fully recovered. So the point I'm trying to make is that we are only looking at the organized sector and its data, and on that basis we are projecting. The unorganized sector is the real problem, where the problem of demand is coming from, where the problem of unemployment is coming from, and which is facing the problem of inflation. And add to that the headwinds coming from abroad. The headwinds, we don't know how long the Ukraine war will last, what will happen to our exports, which have been falling in the last few months. The deficit in the current account is expanding, and the capital flows may actually come down, especially with what's happened in the stock market recently. The investor confidence, the sentiment of the investors would be down.